Hi everyone, this is Jessa. So I'm starting here on my little trolley. I have my luminous peel set up. These are my cold stones. This is my hot water. And we may not have enough time to do the traditional timing on this treatment. I preheated my steamer, so it's a good idea before your facials to get your water hot. See how it's boiling immediately because it's already heated. So sometimes you can get an idea of how much time you need, by turning it on a few times and seeing how long it takes to boil. This is just my other treatment cart. We roll this one over to use the mag lamp. And my client has climbed in, but make sure before they get in that you have your head towels. So you've got one on the bottom, one that wraps around their hair, and I don't use any extra headbands or a clip or anything. I just tuck the towel into itself. And now my steam is going again, so we're going to turn that off while we cleanse, and I will see you in a minute. Okay, now we're going to wrap her head. Let's see. So I'm left-handed, so I set up my wrap to tuck with my left hand, but you can fold the towel the other way and then you tuck it in this corner here. Okay, make sure it's not pressing on any jewelry. If they have it on, they should really take it off. And keep their hair clean during a facial. Most women, they don't like it if their hair gets all greasy. Hi, so we're going to start the facial now. I showed you all of the prep, and we've got our steamer ready. And just for the sake of those who glove and who don't glove, for my videos I'm going to be gloving from here on out, just because some estheticians do it all the time and some don't for certain parts of the facial. And in the winter time, if you have dry skin, you can have micro fissures in your hands. So it's actually like having a little tiny wound or something going on. So I'm going to start with our creamy sunflower cleanser. This is our 16-ounce size. We don't have it nicely labeled in here yet because our other labels. Warm it up a little bit in your hands. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Also make sure your posture is good. So make sure when you're cleansing them you really do a good job. With creamy cleansers, you start with the cleanser dry. You don't add water till you massage for a minute or so. And what I was saying before is I'm going to show you what it looks like to do a peel with your facial and where to do it. And we do these every month on quite a few clients because we want to make sure that each client is getting professional exfoliation, because it's something they can't do at home, and it's almost better to do one stronger peel if they're not going to exfoliate at home each month than it is to just do the home care. But ideally they're going to do both, so they're going to use a fruit acid or a triple blemish control. Those are the things we have in our line. We have 2 strengths of fruit acid, but that's something you want to talk to your client about, is if they want more glow, they want anti-aging, they have acne, something like that, then you're going to want to make sure that you talk to them about exfoliation. And I really believe in acids, but it's not just any acid that's okay. A lot of acids are extracted with toxic processes, and you want to make sure that the acid that you use is extracted not only using a clean process like enzyme extraction, but also the base ingredient needs to be natural or organic and non-toxic. And the reason that makes a big difference on people's skin is it's kind of like eating organic. You want a towel to wipe your gloves. So I'm just going to wipe off a little of this cleanser so I don't goo up every piece of equipment that I use after this. And the cleanser is creamy, so it's sitting on her till I get this steam going, and then I'm going to wipe it off, okay? So I use 4x4s because they're disposable. There's some things I don't like to use that are washable, and there's reasons for that. And they do have organic cotton in these types of wipes. So that's what you should get if you're a more natural or organic spa. So you want to make sure you really cleanse everything. You know, you get everything wiped clean. And I kind of hold these wipes like this when I'm cleaning them, and then they go back in your water bowl. I have an ozone setting on my steamer. If you want to, when I turn on the ozone, you can see the steam. Okay, so now I can see where my steam is pointed. If you want to come over here from the side and just get a picture of the whole thing. So you can see your steam point it, but I don't like to leave the ozone on while they're steaming because it makes people cough. So something you can do with a peel is you can do a mild enzyme before your peel. So this is our jojoba bead, and I'm actually taking more of the creamy sunflower cleanser. With our beads, you tap like salt. Tap a little bit, and that's not even a quarter of a pea size in beads. Anything I dirty, I kind of leave it up top too on my cart so that I know what to clean at the end. And this is our 5% pumpkin enzyme. Okay? And you really don't need very much of this. It's really spicy because it's got all of the spicy enzymes in it. It also has kind of like a pumpkin pie type of blend in spices. So you can see I'm getting a little collection going on my cart. So I'm mixing those three things together to make her exfoliant. And this is really gentle, but if somebody's sensitive skin, you don't want to put the pumpkin enzyme in there. You might want to put a little oxygen with the beads and cleanser again. But most clients are going to tolerate the enzyme really well. So we're kind of focused on the peel today. I'm going to do some separate videos on extractions. This particular model, I've been seeing her for a while now, so she has great skin. She doesn't have a lot of extractions. So sometimes you have clients like that, and we offer a facial called the massage only facial. And we offer that so that people who don't need extractions have a little more affordable way of getting the treatment done. Okay, so when you get your hot towel out of the towel cavity, it's really hot. It's a good idea because your hands are washed to test like a baby bottle, like milk. When you heat up milk for a baby, test it right on your inner wrist before you wrap their face so you don't burn someone. And you ask them, is that temperature okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And then some people get a little claustrophobic, so don't cover their mouth and their nose, and when you press, you know, you don't have to go overboard. You can also ask your client when you're getting to know them, do you get claustrophobic and that kind of thing, and if they do, you need to be really careful when you're wrapping them. So, and then, you know, the gloves also, I feel that there are some clients in situations where you can cleanse or do the massage, you know, that kind of thing without them, but those who believe in using them 100% of the time, I totally get it. We carry a lot of different strains of bacteria on the surface of our skin, and we can get those dry fingers and get those micro fissures. So, because she doesn't need extractions, we're going to go straight into the peel. We're going to tone. This is the triple T with DMAE and resveratrol. So this starts the treatment process. Sometimes their mouths open a little bit and you might want to tell them, I'm going to spritz you, so just keep everything closed. And I'm going to get some dry 4x4s, and this helps prep their skin and get any residue out of the way from anything, even though we just hot toweled them off. It also kind of helps the pH of their skin be in the right place before we do the peel. So we just sent out about 100 luminous peels. So I'm going to use the luminous. It's a great peel for almost everybody. Let's see. So if you want to conserve your peel, this fan brush is the material that's actually not my favorite. My favorite brushes we're going to carry really soon. They have an orange fan and they have this exact handle. You can't have wood, and you can't really have hair, you know, type of, this isn't a hair, but it's not the type of fan that I like. There's one that just won't break down after years of use. These are newer, but they will break down. So to conserve peel, use a fan brush, or you can use a 2x2, but the 2x2 will soak up our new peels fairly quickly, so you'll use more. So start on the forehead. Foreheads tend to be kind of tough. And you want to apply the peel evenly. And you never want to get too close to the eyelids and the under eye skin, but you want to get the crow's feet. And you want to apply fairly quickly. So I'm going to speed up now. The reason is the peel is starting to work everywhere that you've applied it. So I just did my second dip into my peel here. So get the whole face covered and then go for the neck. The neck and the décolleté area. I go all the way down to where there's openings in their shirt. Some people charge extra. I believe in including that in a peel. And we charge $30 to add a peel onto anybody's service, or we do a quick treatment where we do a peel. Now it's really important because this point she's feeling it. You're going to ask her on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 would be You don't feel anything. 10 would be take it off right now. Where are you at?
A 2.
A 2. So a 2 is good. You can let it sit for 2 to 5 minutes at that number. Her lip looks a little dry. Does it feel like I missed anywhere?
I don't think so.
That's a good thing to ask your client. Now, there's something called layering that you can do with peels. This is advanced, and I'll be teaching more classes on this, but if they have scarring, wrinkling, pigment, anything that needs extra work, you can take a second layer of the peel. Let's say the cheeks are really tough, so I'm going to put a thick layer on top of the first layer. And if the peel dries out while it's cooking, it's not working, so you want it to be moist. Okay? Now, if she had acne, okay, so if somebody broke out here, you'd want to do a second layer here. You can either use a different peel to layer it, or you can layer the same one on. And it's good at this point to ask your client again, has it gotten any stronger, or is it staying about the same?
It's about the same, just a little bit stronger maybe.
Okay, so it will go up and up and up. And these peels cook really fast. I like to say they cook. Now I have a bowl with 2 jades in it, and I take my dry 4x4s and I'm dipping them in this really cold water that I like to be filtered wherever possible in facials. 10-stage carbon filters are actually very cheap. If you can filter the water at your spa, it helps with all of your facial treatments. So this will feel cold, okay? That's what you need to tell your client. This also neutralizes the peel. Kind of like with hair color, you know, water neutralizes it, not only wiping off the excess peel, but also the water helps to neutralize the peel, although they may feel a slight tingling still after you remove the peel, and that's okay. That's normal. Tell them if it gets stronger when they leave, or if it's feeling like it's getting increasingly stronger after they leave. It should kind of neutralize slowly when they leave, and they need to call you if they continue to feel a lot of activity, or if they go somewhere. They shouldn't really work out, you know, right after this. If they work out or get hot and sweaty, it can reactivate the peel a little bit. Sometimes it does nothing, and other times you can see that I flipped these wipes inside out so that I'm using a fresh area of the wipe, so I'm not wiping the peel around on the other side of my wipe. That's really important. And then you ask your client again, how's that feeling now? Is it feeling like it's neutralizing?
Yes.
Okay. Does it still feel like a 1 or a 2?
Maybe a 1.
Okay.
I mean, but it's neutralized, I can tell.
Okay. So after this, we'll do a little bit of massage. I'm grabbing the 10% oxygen elixir, and we've cleaned this so this label looks a little faded. Oops. And you will knock things over, moving all the stuff around doing a facial. So this oxygen is fantastic after a peel. It's like a second treatment. You know, it's like getting an oxygen treatment. The elixir is particularly good because there's 10% oxygen. The 100% is really strong. So I'm covering everywhere that we peeled. And this should feel good because there's oxygen. She could feel a slight activity, but most likely not. So we're going to do a little pressure point massage. So during my full facials, I do face, head, neck, shoulders, and half of the arms for massage. Just for time purposes today, we're going to show you the face, and we're going to show you the cold stone massage. The cold stone massage is part of what neutralizes everything after the peel. If they're looking really flushed right after you take the peel off, you probably want to do the cold stones and then their massage. But their massage gets their blood moving, so you got to keep that in mind. It gets their circulation and everything going. So sometimes it's better to do a little massage with pressure point and also regular massage. We do a little bit, and then we do the cold stone massage. And the cold stones are really important to close the skin down. So you kind of want to make your way around the skin a couple of times with the stones. And these are jade, so they have some really nice properties. Even they have good energy. Jade's been used a really long time. Jade facial rollers and jade for the skin has been used for a very long time. So I like these versus regular massage stones. Jade stays cold a lot longer, and it's got a lot of really great properties, like I said. Okay. So keep in mind, if this is a longer facial where you have a little more time than we do filming today, that you can put more time into massage and different things. But if you're on a schedule, you can shorten it up a little bit. So I like to wet some fresh wipes to get this part off here. Sorry, I didn't warn her, so she's tasting the toner there. So having that little oil barrier on, it restores the skin's barrier after a peel. And the sunflower is really compatible with a lot of skin types. We're also going to infuse organic sunflower seed oil with herbs so that you can get more of a little treatment. But the oxygen's pretty potent. If you come and get a close-up of her skin between the oxygen and the peel, she's really glowing. So for today, I'm going to tone her. You could do a mask, and then the rest of the massage, I'm going to tone her and moisturize her. And we hand mix a lot of herbs, and we use a lot of muds and that kind of thing in our facial treatments. So we have a couple new masks coming. And 2 of them will be ready to go. I'm going to make some of our dry herbal mixtures as ready to go masks very soon. So I'm putting a little hyaluronic on. Hyaluronic is nice and neutral after the treatment that she just did. But what hyaluronic does is it's more of a humectant, So it helps the skin hold water. And it's important to put this on, you know, before the oils sometimes. So we're going to use this because it was a peel. It's good to put on another oil barrier. So since we haven't used it very often, this is squalane, and it's a little more hydrating than the oxygen. The 10% elixir would also work. But you really need to do this, and then after this you put a little of the mineral defense on, and then they're ready to go. And I got a little bit of the hyaluronic too around her eyes. So these steps after a peel are really important. A lot of times people try to put on their regular serums on a client, or they try to put on really active creams, and if they do that, the skin could have a reaction. It can blow up into something rashy that it doesn't normally do, because the barrier is completely different after you do microderm or you do a peel. So let's get a close-up of this because people have been asking. This is the zinc and titanium mineral defense cream in this bottle we've had for a while. It's a little beat up. So she's got her moisturizers on. You want to spray your fingers with a little toner, and don't get more than I had. So this is what it should look like before you apply. And then you've got to go quick to blend. So you see I got a little bit everywhere. Now I'm blending as it dries. You can see if it dried like that, it would streak. And having a little oil-based moisturizer on underneath isn't a bad idea. But you can see how it blends right in when it's the right amount, and you spray a little bit of toner on it. All right, thank you everybody. So that was most of our facial. I promise I will do a real, you know, an hour and a half facial, but we're doing a big peel series focus right now, and I wanted to get part of a facial in with a peel. Thank you.